Well, hello friends, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I have my green on. I'm technically filming the day before St. Patrick's Day, my brother's birthday, March 16th, but you are going to see this on St. Patrick's Day because I thought that it would be fun for me to pull out some palettes that have some fun green color stories that I think would be perfect for St. Patrick's Day. Now, I do have 10 eyeshadow palettes here in front of me, and I am going to share some of the color stories and shadows that I think would be fantastic to celebrate Luck of the Irish. There are 3 palettes that I feel like are no longer available, so I wanted to give you some options here, but I still wanted to highlight those because if you have them in your collection, pull them out and let's turn green today. Now, I'm not going in any particular order. I am going to save the palettes that are no longer available for the end, but I'm just going to grab in front of me. And the first palette that I have here is from Sigma Beauty, and this is actually a quad. Now, this is the Green Apple Eyeshadow Quad. These are $23 on the Sigma website, although I do have my affiliate code KBella if you want to save some money. These little quads used to be $19 when they released, I believe, but Sigma did up their prices on some things. And so now this cute little quad here is $23. I love a quad. Okay, I love a quad. And the thing that I love about this quad is that you can create a full look with it. So you can go in with just Tart and Green Apple if you want just full green and no other shades in there. But you can also take Salted Caramel, put that in the crease, deepen up with Tart, pull that in the crease as well, put Green Apple all over the lid, and then go in with Buttery in your inner corner. You can also keep it just if you want just a neutral eyeshadow look, Salted Caramel and Buttery. This is versatile, and I love that about this quad. So let's go ahead and just do some swatches here. Here is Buttery, here is Salted Caramel, here is Tart, and here is Green Apple. You can see the shades here. So we have Buttery, Salted Caramel, Tart, and Green Apple. Probably not the best swatches I've ever done in my life, but these shades are fantastic. I think it's perfect for a green Luck of the Irish look, but if you're someone who doesn't want quite a pop of green, there is a way for you to use this palette to kind of tone it down a little bit and make it a little bit more neutral. So I love the Sigma formula. I love a quad. I am very much into quads these days. I'm into smaller palettes. I like the ease of travel with this. You do have a little magnetic closure there, but it is just plastic cardboard packaging. There's no mirror or anything. So I feel like for $23 you are getting, you are getting some bang for your buck here. I love the Sigma formula, and I just think that this quad is so perfect for St. Patrick's Day. Now, I do have several different brands represented today, but I'll just go ahead and stick with Sigma since we're here right now. I also pulled out the Disney Little Mermaid palette with Sigma. Now, this palette is $59. Again, this is on the pricier side, but I do have a discount code if you want to save some money. Now, this is not a fully green palette, and when I created a look with this palette, I did dip into some other shades, and I created kind of like a mermaid vibe with like purple and blue, and I really love the way that, again, Sigma has such a fun color story with this one. You do have several pops of green. You have this fun scroll shade here, but there are also some pops of neutral and, of course, the purple. I love the way that you have some lighter shades and some deeper shades. I also love that with the Sigma palettes, you do have different types of shadows. So you're going to have some that are better toppers. You're going to have some that are more pigmented and stand alone. I also really love that Sigma had some duochromes and kind of multi-chromes in here with this palette. But when I'm thinking of like green and St. Patrick's Day, I do feel like this scroll shade, it's kind of like a green gold shift, but I mean, hello, leprechauns, they go for gold. We have this Jumpin' Jellyfish shade. This is beautiful because it pulls like purple and green here. When I look at it from right here, I'm seeing green, you're seeing purple, and then there's a shift. Can it capture it in there? I think that would be a fun one. You're getting more purple on camera, but I'm seeing green here. Then we have Beautiful Voice, which is also a very beautiful kind of like a jewel toned emerald green. And we have this deep blue sea, which is going to be more of a blue, but I think it would pair well with these greens if you wanted to deepen it up. We also have, let me just see if I can get this seagull shade here. This seagull shade I think would go well with these colors here. Let's go ahead and try to just swatch some of these. I want to give you guys live swatches in real time. I want you to see the looks that I've created with these palettes. I mean, these aren't going to be the best swatches of life, but I do want you to get a look at everything here and the color story. And I feel like you can create some fun green looks. You can incorporate some other colors. And like I said, it's just, you know, the Sigma formula is fantastic. I think these shades are so fun. The Little Mermaid palette isn't one that's like going to be my everyday, but this is definitely one that I thought about for St. Patrick's Day with those fun greens and golds if you wanted to create something. I really love the formula from Unearthly Cosmetics. I picked up the Sorcerer's Smoke palette when it released, and this palette is absolutely amazing. I think that Unearthly Cosmetics does a great job with their shimmer formulas. You get so much sparkle and shine, vibrance, long lasting, but the mattes are fabulous as well too. I feel like Unearthly is known for these duochromatic shifts and fun eyeshadow shades. The Sorcerer's Smoke palette is another one. I am a neutral lover, so yes, I want to dip into green and create a fun green look sometimes, but like I also need to dip into my neutral side. And so I love that this palette has these fun little quads here, but you also have pops of color and a mixture of neutrals as well. Now this palette is going to set you back $65. I do not have a code with Unearthly Cosmetics, but tons of my friends do. You can definitely find a code to save money on this one. You do have 12 shades, and the thing that I like about this is you have an equal amount of shimmers and mattes. They are kind of paired up here, so if you wanted to go in duos, or if you wanted to go in quads, or if you wanted to mix and match. But we do have some really fun greens here. I love this Vervain shade. This is going to give you that like smoky, very smoky green vibe, but it also has a fun shift in there. I think that this transfixed shade is beautiful. These shades are so creamy and buttery, so pigmented. And then you have these fun mattes in eucalyptus and herbal. And I just feel like this green quad would create such a fun look for St. Patrick's Day. Let's just go ahead and swatch these right here. You can see they are so pigmented, so beautiful, but the way that these sparkles just shine when the light hits, absolutely stunning. I know that Unearthly is more on the expensive side at $65 for these 12 shades, but they really pack a punch, and it's an absolutely stunningly beautiful palette. Moving into another brand that I love oh so much is Nomad Cosmetics. They released the Ireland Wild Atlantic Way palette. I am on the PR list for Nomad Cosmetics, but I did purchase this one myself. And y'all, this is an Irish palette, okay? Talking about St. Patrick's Day, luck of the Irish, leprechauns, gold, green, like this palette is it. If you are looking for options, you need some greens, you need some golds, we even have blues in here. This is the palette for you. I do have a code with Nomad. It's KBella if you ever want to save some money on their site, but I love the formula of Nomad Cosmetics. They do a fantastic job with these creamy, buttery mattes, these shimmers that really pack a punch, and I love the fact that Nomad is travel themed, and so every palette has to do with a destination, and this palette is based on Ireland, so hello, duh, St. Patty's Day. Now this palette is going to set you back $49, so you do get several more shades. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 3, 18. You do get 18 shades, so $49 for the 18 shades versus the $65 I think it was for 12 shades with Unearthly. But I just think that these shades are absolutely beautiful and perfect for St. Patrick's Day, for the holiday. Another thing that I love about Nomad Cosmetics is that they do support a cause with each one of their releases. So this palette in particular is a proud supporter of the Irish Wildlife Trust, and on their website you can always get more information with that. Now I'm not going to go ahead and swatch a bunch of shades here because we do have lots of fun shades, but some of my favorite, of course, we have some greens up here in the top row. I cannot say all of these names. This is like a greenish blue which is really, really fun here. I also just, hello, shamrock, like perfection. Every shade of green that you could want. Let's go ahead. Where can we swatch these? Let's swatch them right here. I'm gonna try and do 5 palettes, clean off my hand and do another 5, but just so that you can see some of these in action, like if this does not scream green, I don't know what does. My camera battery is low and my arm needs to be washed, but I want to at least get another palette in here. We are going to go with Lunar Beauty. This is the Moonshroom palette. Oops, I always keep the little plastic thing and it went flying down there. The thing that I love about this, first of all, I do love the Lunar Beauty formula. I think the shimmers are so sparkly and shimmery. The mattes are super creamy and blendable. But I like this palette in particular because you do have a top row of kind of lighter, more neutral mattes. You do have a bottom row of mattes that are more to deepen up. You can use them as liners. And then in the middle, you have these beautiful shimmery, shifty shades, the sparkle, the shine, everything that you could want. You have some fun pops of color with the purples and the blues, but you also have these greens and golds in here, so hello, perfect for a St. Patrick's Day. I also really love the highlighter palette that came in this collection, but that has nothing to do with what we are here for. So this palette is $48 and you do get 3, 6, again, 18 shades. Again, I am not going to swatch all of them, but I do have full videos. Let's go ahead and do Spores and Weeping Willow right here. Yes, give it to me. We have Fun Guy here. Let's do Fairy Wings, this gold. Let's get some gold action in there. Like, these are so grungy and beautiful and everything that I want them to be. I mean, look at these shades. Look how well they swatch. Like without me even trying, like so effortless. If you're looking for more of not quite so green, but more of like a neutral green grungy gold vibe, I think that this would be a great one. I do not have an affiliate code with Lunar Beauty, but again, I do have some friends who have affiliate codes with them. So this is another one. I love the packaging too. Like Manny does such a great job with the packaging, and for it to have this fun packaging, a wide array of shimmers and mattes, a mirror on the inside, like I feel like this is very affordable for what you're getting, and I just love the quality, and this color story is to die for. For this next palette, it does say sold out, but I'm hoping that it's just temporarily sold out and not permanently sold out. I am talking about the Fantasy Cosmetica Droid palette. Fantasy Cosmetica is a brand that is based off of gaming. I am not a gamer, so I'm not familiar with this palette or the story behind it, but I know my friend Amanda, Makeup Just for Fun, was like, you would love this color story. This is one of her favorite palettes. She was like, you need to give it a try. So I purchased this last year, and I have not looked back. This is $38.99 and you do get a 9-pan, you get a mirror, you get this fun like woodsy whimsical color story here. You have this beautiful duochrome in balance. You have some fun shimmer shades, some great mattes. The quality of this was absolutely fantastic and amazing. Again, I don't have a code with Fantasy Cosmetica, but I do have some friends who have codes with Fantasy Cosmetica. My friend Amanda, Makeup Just for Fun, went on to do her own collaboration with the brand. But look at this shade. I mean, this is so creamy. Look at this shade Serenity. Pair that with Sage. Like, oh my goodness. That would be absolutely stunning. Deepen it up with Forest. If you want a duochrome here in balance, is it green? Is it purple? I don't know. Depends on how you're looking at it. But these are just the quality. Look at this. That's one swipe, y'all. Like, hello. That is stunning. Beautiful, amazing. The quality is just fantastic. This would be great if you put it on top of this shade, like took this deeper shade, put it all over the lid and took that topper and put it right on top, or even just these two shades together. I mean, absolutely love it. I loved playing with this palette. I enjoyed Fantasy Cosmetica. I totally would purchase more from them. And if you're looking for a green look, a green palette, look no further. I will say my fingers are stained, but my arm was not stained, so that's nice. Then we have the palette that is on my eyes right now. Now, when I'm looking at the website, I see that this is sold out. Again, I don't know if it's permanently sold out or not, but it is in some bundles. We are going mainstream with Natasha Denona's Retro Glam palette. I did purchase this one myself, although I am affiliated with Natasha Denona. If you use my code one time, KBella, you can save 15%, but it's just like a one-time code. But this is the palette that I used today to create this look. This is a palette I don't think of often, but you have a very kind of spring soft green color story. If you're someone who doesn't want something so harsh or bold or in your face, very green and vibrant, but more of like minty vibes, I think that this would be a fantastic one for you to get or to use or to dip into if you have. I just took Sage and put that in my crease. Then I blended it out with that fringe shade, and those were the mattes that I used. I took Marlin on the lid, like the outer, maybe like 2/3 of my lid, and then I took Palladian and put that on the inner corner and like the inner part of my lid, and I feel like you can't really see too much of a shift between those two. I took Evergreen and put that underneath my lower lash line and blended it out with that neutral Faye shade, and then I took Flutter as like my inner corner pop, and I created this like soft minty vibe, and I really like the look that I created. This is more of like the safe version. Like you want to dip your toes in, but you don't want to commit to like the Nomad Ireland Atlantic way, like too green for you, but you want like a little bit of something. So this is one that I just, like I said, I don't think of it often, but when I was like, St. Patrick's Day, green, spring, like what am I thinking? This is one that definitely came to mind. Now, like I said, unfortunately it does say sold out, but this was $69. If you go on the Natasha Denona website, it looks like there are a couple bundles where maybe you could try and purchase this, or you could try on like Ricari or Poshmark, or just check and see if this is something that you have in the depths of your collection and pull it out for the holiday. Now the next three, I believe none of them are available anymore because they're all collab palettes and they're my friends' palettes, but they have fun green color stories, so I still wanted to talk about them with you. The first being from Odens Eye and collaboration with Amanda Makeup Just for Fun, the Flora Story palette. This is a beautiful springtime palette. This one has some vibrant purples and greens. This misty shade, I wish that I could swatch it for you. Mine came broken, but you do have like these mossy green shades right here in Sage and Clover, Best Buds. Dawn is a favorite of mine and a great mixture of purples here. So we have Best Buds, Dawn, Clover, and Sage. I mean, look at that. Like, look at this duochrome shift of Dawn. This would be another one if you are someone who is maybe intimidated by color or the bright greens and you wanted more of like a softer vibe. This one is absolutely stunning and amazing. It's hard to see these shimmer shades here. You can see them better on my finger. These are almost more of like toppery shades, and if you took this kind of green shade and put it all over and topped it with one of the toppers, I think that it would look fantastic. Odens Eye, I have like a love-hate relationship with them because all of their shimmers aren't my favorite, but when they do shimmers right, their shimmers, their palettes, their color story, their packaging is amazing, and if you have Flora Story, you can create a beautiful green look with it. Another one from Odens Eye that I wanted to share with you is the collaboration with Angelica Nyqvist. My friend Angie created her original Hella palette with Odens Eye. This was the first one that they came out with, and I was like, yes, these two rows right here are screaming like mossy green vibes here. You even have this shade right here in double-sided, but you could definitely, I mean, dip into Fluorescence or Venom, or this shade right here, or Moss. I mean, look at that. You could create a mossy vibe. There are some fun pops of green in here. So, I mean, again, you can't get this collection anymore, but if you already have this, like, this is a great, I thought of this instantly. This is a great springtime palette. This is a great green palette here. The quality on this one is just absolutely amazing. I know that Angie and Odens Eye worked so hard on it, and it's so beautiful. And you get another more wearable, not quite so scary green, but more of like a gold green vibe, and this one is fantastic. Last but not least, I could not forget my friend Heather Austin and her collaboration with Adept Cosmetics, because this palette is what made me fall in love with Adept Cosmetics and their shimmers and just how sparkly and shifty and duochrome they are. And this whole quad right here would be perfect. So you have the two mattes in Magnolia and Mythology. Mythology is more of the mustard, Magnolia is the green, but then the shimmers like Austin, hello, so creamy and shifty, and Smith, hello, so creamy and shifty. Like, these are fun. If you're looking for some bright pops, if you're looking to do something different, like look at this shade right here, the Smith shade. Look at that. That, oh my gosh, you could pair these together, you could pair these two together. Like, I just love, I'm getting these everywhere. I just love these shades. I know that Heather and Adept worked tirelessly on these. These shimmer shades are just, Adept has some of my favorite shimmer shades, and I just think Adept and Heather did such a great job, and these would be perfect for the St. Patrick's Day holiday as well. And again, if you're like a little bit nervous, you just take this green shade, use, is this Austin? Austin all over the lid. Yeah, Austin all over the lid. And you just have like a beautiful wearable look, but such shift and dimension and absolutely stunning. But I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my arm and my hand here, and we'll be right back to close out the video. You know, because I do work full time and because I am a wife and a mom, it's not every day that I get to like dive into my collection of palettes that I already have and just like swatch and play like I used to. I used to spend hours just swatching, creating eye looks, playing, and I just, you know, I'm a teacher, I'm teaching, I'm working, I'm momming, I don't always have time to do that. So I'm very thankful to share these 10 palettes with you today. These are not the only 10 green eyeshadow palettes, or even the ones that I have in my collection, but I thought that these were ones worth mentioning, and I just thank you for watching this video and playing with me and hanging out with me. I would love to know, do you have like a favorite green eyeshadow palette? Are you wearing green today? I typically do like a spring eyeshadow palette roundup, but I think that this like green St. Patrick's Day eyeshadow palette collection is going to take the place of my springtime video, so I will have a spring palette playlist in the description box down below if you want to see more springtime palettes, but I wanted to highlight the green ones today. So that's going to do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe before you go. That way I can see you in the next one. Bye.